when they sort of search on it. I got the call on the corner I was in Brooklyn at a doctor's office. My mother called the office. She said, get my son, I had to tell him something. She said somebody named Teo Machero called. Some kind of butchering of the name. She didn't know. I said, what do you see? Teo Macero? She said, he said, come to the studio right now. This whole jazz thing, everything is right now or yesterday,
I see that.
So I said, oops. And I happened to have my horn by complete luck. If I didn't have my horn, I probably wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah.
Because I would not have gotten that break that got me into Miles. And then I'd be cool, but not like I became because of Miles. So I rushed out and got in the car. The car went and I parked in the middle of Madison Avenue, didn't get towed, amazing. I go to the studio, and it is like a cast of thousands. It's like the movie The Bible.
Yeah.
It's like Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, and other pianos like Donald Elias, Colin Walcott, Badal Roy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Hart, Jack DeShanette, Harry Young. I mean, and I look there and I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm in the dividing between the booth and the studio, and I'm at the mirror, at the window, the little panel.
Yeah.
Miles sees me and he gives me a signal to come in. Okay. Nobody's talking. Nobody talking.
Silence, or
well, I take my horn out, and next thing I know, Miles is standing next to Jack, whispering something in his ear. It sounds like something like that. I don't know what he's. That's how he taught music. A couple utterances, and Jack goes, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. I don't know what. And then they play that first track that's on the corner, Black Satin. I forget what the name is.
Yeah.
We finished the track. It's the end of the recording. It happened to be I just made the last 15 minutes. Because those days 3 hours is 3 hours.
Yeah.
You don't go past it because the record company has to pay double. It's called overtime, as you know.
Yeah.
So it's the end. I'm packing my thing. Miles passes me, walks by me. He's on his way out. As I learned later, he was always first out, cassette in hand, cassette in those days. He says, he looks at me, goes, join my band. I said, I can't do that. I'm with Elvin. He said, fuck Elvin. And then he walks away. And then I don't know if I blew my chance. I don't know what. That was it for a couple months.
Oh, wow, that must have been heavy for you. I mean,
We play in the Village Vanguard with Elvin. First week, January 5th, 8th, 10th, something like that. This is 1973, I guess. Miles is in the club, the Village Vanguard, little club, so everybody sees him. What's Miles? And when Elvin comes over and says, what's he doing here? They're like, I don't know what's going on. And Keiko and Miles, stuff.
Yeah.
He comes down one night. He comes the next night. He talks to my girlfriend at the time. He's talking to me, little things he's saying. Now, Steve is in the band, and Steve had been with Miles by now. So they don't talk.
Exactly.
They're not talking. They don't talk. Yeah, Jack Johnson, he's Fillmore, Steve.
Yeah.
But they're not talking. So, my Elvis says, that little motherfucker's up to something. So Miles is serenading me and my old lady at that time, to like, you don't want to play this old shit. This is old shit. We're in the 21st century. This is gone, forget it, which was true in a way.
Yeah.
So finally, the second night, Wednesday night, he says, what's happening? You gonna do this or not? Enough of this shit. I said, you got to talk to Elvin. Elvin's my daddy. It's your job to talk to him.
Wow.
You want me? You talk to him. I mean, I didn't explain all this, but that was the vibe.
Yeah.
He says, okay. Next thing I know, we get home. I lived about an hour or hour and a half away from the city. We're back there at 4:30 in the morning. 5 in the morning. Phone rings. He says, you finish with Elvin next week. You're going where? You going to Boston? Okay, you go to Boston. I said, I'm playing Friday night at the Fillmore. You play with me Friday night. Then you go back to Elvin. And then after next week, you're mine.
Wow. Damn. That's amazing.
So to read into it, it was the first real official gig was that Friday night at the Fillmore East. And I played with Miles. It was like pandemonium. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, it was loud, it was crazy,
No.
cacophonic. It was, he was all black with black sunglasses. I mean, it was the whole scene. I didn't know anybody except I did know Al Foster.
Yeah.
And that was good because that was my jazz relationship. But I didn't know any of the other guys. I didn't know who they were. And the next week I did the Boston Jazz Workshop, and that was it. And Elvin said, good luck. So I started in January '73. And of course, to sum it up, I mean, it's a whole book in itself, but to sum it up, if you stand next to somebody like that, you get a lot. I mean, you have that imagination. They don't talk much, as I said. Miles didn't talk that much. He certainly didn't talk about the music. He might say a few words to you, but then he would
What
say,
about the music? He never said play this or let's go to that direction. Nothing. Wow, it's amazing.
He would play, and you have to follow, but you didn't follow what. You didn't know any more than anybody else knew, and I don't think he knew what he was doing either sometimes. But it took me a few months, and then finally, in about 6 months, one night I had the right ingredients, I guess, and I heard it. I said, "I got you now, Miles. I know what you're trying to do. African shit, some space crazy. The drum machine making noise, kind of like what became happening in the 2000s was happening on the stage.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah.
The guitar player played crazy, Pete Cozy, and had all he played percussion instruments in between. I mean, it was wild. But of course, it makes your career because after that, you're expected to, and you usually will fulfill the obligation of having your own music. Now what? Now what are you going to do after this? You can't go backwards. It made your career. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it happened. I mean, ECM, first 2 records, Lookout Farm and Drum Mode.
Yeah.
Manfred Eicher coming to me at the Berlin Festival and walking on stage and after the gig and saying, "Would you like to make a record for my company?" First year, he didn't follow through. The second year, he did, and that's Lookout Farm.
Yeah.